In the heart of a city that had long forgotten its dreams, lived a woman named Alara. The walls of her small apartment were thin, letting in the symphony of a struggling neighborhood, the distant sirens, the arguments from next door, the rumble of the late-night train. But inside, Alara was trying to build a fortress of hope for her 3 children, Leo, Maya, and little Sam. Their father had left when Sam was just a baby, a ghost in a family portrait, leaving Alara to navigate the treacherous waters of poverty all by herself. Every morning, before the sun dared to paint the sky, Alara was already awake. Her first job was at a diner, her hands moving with a practiced speed, flipping pancakes and pouring coffee, the smell clinging to her clothes like a second skin. Her second job was cleaning office buildings downtown, a world of glass and steel that felt a million miles away from her own. She moved through the empty halls like a phantom, her reflection a tired shadow in the polished floors. She was often so exhausted that her bones ached, but the thought of her children's faces, their bright eyes and trusting smiles, was the fuel that kept her going. Money was a constant, suffocating weight. Some nights dinner was just rice and beans, but Alara would tell stories of magical beanstalks and rice paddies tended by dragons, turning their meager meal into a feast of imagination. She patched their clothes until the patches had patches. She taught them to find joy in the free wonders of the world, the public library, the park, the stars visible from their fire escape. She would point to the constellations and tell them, "Each one of you is a star. You just have to find your own light and shine, no matter how dark the sky gets." Leo, the eldest, was quiet and observant. He saw the worry etched in his mother's brow, the way she'd sometimes skip her own meal to make sure they had enough. He started taking on odd jobs, mowing lawns, delivering papers, his small earnings secretly tucked into the cookie jar on the counter. He was determined to lift the burden from his mother's shoulders. He studied relentlessly, the flickering light of a single lamp his companion late into the night. The library became his second home, its books a gateway to a world he was determined to enter. Maya was the artist, the dreamer. She saw beauty where others saw decay. She would draw on scraps of paper, on old newspapers, on the back of receipts her mother brought home. Her colors were vibrant. Her subjects were the people of their neighborhood, their faces filled with stories of hardship and resilience. She saw the strength in her mother's hands, the kindness in the corner grocer's eyes, and she captured it all with a talent that was raw and undeniable. Alara would hang Maya's drawings on the wall, turning their drab apartment into a personal art gallery, a testament to her daughter's spirit. And then there was Sam, the youngest, the light of their lives. He had a heart full of sunshine and a curiosity that couldn't be contained. He would take apart old radios and clocks, trying to understand how they worked, his small hands carefully examining each gear and wire. Alara encouraged his inquisitiveness, bringing him broken appliances people had thrown away. While others saw junk, she saw the building blocks of her son's future. But the world outside was not always kind. The children were teased for their worn-out shoes and hand-me-down clothes. There were days they came home with tears in their eyes, the sting of cruel words still fresh. On those days, Alara would gather them close, her arms a shield against the world's harshness. She wouldn't offer empty platitudes. Instead, she'd say, "Their words don't define you. Your character does. Be kind, work hard, and prove them wrong not with your words, but with your life." One winter was particularly harsh. The heating in their building broke, and the cold seeped into their bones. Alara got sick, a fever that left her weak and unable to work for a week. The rent was due, and the cupboards were nearly bare. Panic, cold and sharp, threatened to overwhelm her. But then she saw her children rally. Leo used his saved-up money to buy medicine and soup. Maya sold a few of her drawings to neighbors. Sam managed to fix a neighbor's broken toaster for a few dollars. They were a team, a small, unbreakable unit forged in love and adversity. It was in that moment, shivering under a mountain of blankets, that Alara knew. She knew they were going to be okay. They had her strength, but more importantly, they had each other. Years passed like seasons. The struggle didn't disappear overnight, but slowly, cracks of light began to appear. Leo earned a full scholarship to a prestigious university to study engineering. The day the acceptance letter arrived, Ilara held it with trembling hands, tears of pride streaming down her face. It was the first brick in the new life he was building for them. Maya, with Ilara's encouragement, submitted her portfolio to a city-wide art competition. She won. Her work was displayed in a real gallery, her name printed on a small plaque. People saw what Ilara had always seen, a profound talent, a voice that needed to be heard. She went on to art school, her unique perspective capturing the hearts of critics and collectors alike. Sam, the little boy who loved to tinker, became a brilliant innovator. He started his own tech company from his college dorm room, creating an app that helped communities connect and share resources, inspired by the neighborhood that had raised him. His company grew, and he became a leader in his field, known for his ethical approach and his commitment to social good. One sunny afternoon, 20 years after their story began, Ilara stood on the porch of a beautiful house with a sprawling garden. It was her house, a gift from her 3 children. Leo, now a leading architect, had designed it. Maya's stunning paintings adorned the walls. Sam's technology made it a home of the future. Her children stood with her, no longer the small, worried kids from the cramped apartment, but confident, successful adults. They were a testament to her sacrifice, her unwavering belief, her relentless love. Leo wrapped his arm around her. "You did it, Mom," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Maya added, "You gave us everything when you had nothing." Sam hugged her tightly. "You were our fortress. Mom, you taught us that our circumstances don't have to be our destiny." Ilara looked at their faces, the same bright eyes she remembered, now filled with gratitude and success. The weariness of the past seemed to melt away, replaced by a profound, overwhelming sense of peace and pride. She hadn't just survived, she had triumphed. Through her, they had learned that the greatest wealth isn't measured in money, but in strength, resilience, and the unbreakable power of a mother's love. She looked up at the clear blue sky and smiled. Her stars were shining brighter than she had ever imagined. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that touches the heart. See you next time.